Hello everyone. This is a tour of my larger collections that I keep in jars on this shelf in my bedroom. Please excuse the handheld camera. I didn't know how else to do this. And so these are all kinds of things that I've collected. I like to keep things in jars, and that way it keeps the dust off of stuff, makes it easier to clean. Above the shelf, I've got my shelf of Artomat stuff. So it's floor to ceiling pretty much, this shelf. So these jars here, this is my oldest collection. I got this rock collection when I was 10. It's polished rocks that I inherited. I got from a rock collector who'd been all over the world and had his own rock polisher. So there's all kinds of stuff in there, from agates to petrified wood, obsidian, and all kinds of things in there. It's gone everywhere with me. This is a cat that was given to me by a friend, and these are Christmas ornaments of my grandmother's. She said at one point that she would put a Christmas tree in my dad and Uncle Vern's bedroom at Christmas time, and I think those are the Christmas ornaments that she put on their tree. So over here is a bottle of buttons, an apple box, and I have all kinds of boxes, and there are different things inside, and I'm always switching things around because sometimes I come across something that I want to keep, but I don't really know where to put it, so I'll put it in a box someplace and then I'll find someplace else for it. So there's various weird things in my boxes. These are shells and driftwood, things that you would find on the Oregon coast that I collected. And this was a gift from my father. This is a triangle bottle, and it is filled with Oregon coast sand, driftwood, rocks, shells. There's crab legs in there. And this made me want to do one for Florida. So I found another bottle, triangle bottle, the same size, and did my own. So this one is all Florida, and it has sand from Miami, shells that I found, rocks, things that you would find on the beach there. And this is a brass mermaid. Up here is my grandmother's jar of jingle bells, some runes that I got in England, and another box. This one my father made for me quite a few years ago. Down here we've got another box with various things in it. I think this is my crystals inside there, shells that I got from Florida, and my troll. And this is one of my photographs with another box. My marbles, they're the darker ones, the ones that have a lot of color, and brass bells. Over here this is a basket full of, I don't even know what, and this box was given to me by a friend. This is a mason jar filled with my grandmother's jewelry, and in there is a bracelet that she sewed some buttons onto a piece of elastic for a bracelet for probably one of the kids, and so that is in there. Over here are brass or charms of hands and feet. These are some strange little shells that I picked up on the Florida beach. They're some kind of shell. They're more like shell discs, and I'm not sure exactly what those are. And the other jar is full of keys, some of them old and some of them not so old. Down here we've got marbles, and those are my clear or light colored marbles. This is a picture, a 3D picture, and those are origami stars that I found one shopping spree on my birthday some years back. Somebody was selling all of them, and I just really liked them, and so I bought them for myself. And then this is a bowl. I love wooden bowls, and I get them when I can. And I put just random bits inside there. It can be just about anything. Here are my vintage buttons, and my white ones, mother of pearl, glass, some bone ones are in there. These are my glass buttons, and I believe most of those were from my grandmother. And these are all metal buttons of some sort. I said what those were. So this is Oregon coast garbage. I like to beachcomb, walk up and down the beach and just pick up stuff. Some of that is pieces of plastic, pieces of net, cork, all kinds of weird things. I think there's a piece of driftwood in there as well. This is one of my Find It jars, and this one here is scallop shells that I found on the Florida beach. These are eggs, and I did buy those. They're not real authentic. They're some kind of eggs, but I think they're chicken eggs or something that have been blown out and painted. So they're not real. I like this little face. I've had him for quite a long time. Some paper beads, and this little box has my mementos from New Orleans, and I've done a show and tell on that box. Here are my Chinese fortunes, my rock, my stone spheres. They're marbles made out of different kinds of stone. These are tiles that I picked up in Capri, Italy, on the beach. They are smooth from the surf. I found all kinds of different tiles and stuff, and I loved all of them. So instead of picking up shells, I picked up these tiles. Here are my grandmother's thimbles and my favorite shells from Florida. All kinds of different stuff in there. Over here these are snail shells, another wooden box that my father made. And these are natural skeleton leaves. I picked these up in a park in Miami quite a few years ago. The ants have eaten away most of the leaf, and it's dried, and now all that's left is the skeleton of it. Down here is a bit of lace. This is my lace collection. And some shells, my crystal ball, and a weird wooden box on top. Down here is part of my dice collection. I have a bunch of dice. I like boxes, and there's dice inside the boxes. These are my dice of color. These are a new one. I got these for my birthday this past year. I found a whole jar of old dice and could not resist, so I bought those. And over here are my white dice with two more boxes with more dice inside those. I really do like dice. Over here are my New Orleans Mardi Gras beads. I actually got those in New Orleans about Mardi Gras time. And this is fabrics from Kenya. I traded, the day I was leaving, I traded my tennis shoes for some fabric scraps. Somebody went to the tailor and picked up all the scraps off the floor and brought them to me. I was quilting at the time. My intention was to make a quilt, and since that was almost 30 years ago, I don't think that that's ever going to happen. So up here we've got some more marbles. These are some beads, the handmade beads. I went through a workshop with Jane Dunwald, 15 beads, and those are the beads that I made in that workshop in England. And these are some old buttons as well. And over here are some bottle caps, and I'm not real fond of that collection. I will probably find something else to put in that jar. One of my Find It jars in the middle, and a whole jar of Oregon driftwood. So that is all my shelves, all my collections on this shelf. Of course, I've got 2 other shelves that are smaller that I probably will have to give you a tour of as well. So if you've got interesting stuff, put it in a jar so you can see it all the time. I love looking at my grandmother's jewelry. It's just right there, and I don't have to worry about dusting it or anything. I don't have to move anything to see it. It's a reminder every time I look at it. So thanks for watching.